Okay, I am knitting a toe-up sock, and my toe, I used a pattern or a recipe by Lynn Ashton, and it's found on Rivalry, and it's called the Seam-Free Rounded Toe for a Toe-Up Sock. It's very easy. I really like the look of the toe because, as you can see, it's rounded instead of being squared or pointy. I don't like pointy toes. Um, the thing that I found with the toe-up sock patterns is that there's always something missing when it tells you where to stop and begin the heel. If you will look at your foot, you need to begin, of course, at your toe, and I'm going to show you my toes. You're going to begin here making your toe of your sock, and the toe is not going to cover all 5 of your toes completely when you end with making the toe cap. As you knit the sock foot, it will start covering your toes, all of your 5 toes, and on up the foot. I begin the heel flap, what I call the heel flap. It's this part of the sock heel, and I begin it right here on my foot, which when I take a measuring stick, it measures from the end of my toe to this point here is 7.5 inches for me. I wear a size 8 to 8.5 shoe, depending upon whether or not my foot is swollen. For those who are not familiar with sock terminology, a gusset is this area here in through here, and it's a wedge shape that gives you the area from your ankle bone, which I don't have one today because my feet are swollen, but from your ankle bone to this area here is called the gusset area, and it'll be wedgy shaped like this when you get finished making your sock and you take a look at it. So I begin the heel of my sock here, which when I measure is actually 2.5 inches from the beginning of my heel to the back of my heel on my foot. So I am doing a what I call a pie wedge heel for the toe up, and it's simply decreasing 2 stitches on the sock, 1 stitch on the left side, 1 stitch on the right side of your knit row, and then when you turn your work around to purl, you'll slip your first stitch on the purl row and purl the rest of the way across, and you will simply turn your work, start over again with a slip knit stitch for the first decrease, and at the end of that knit row you will do a knit 2 together. And is what that does that I found, and I've redid this recipe from someone else, is that it makes a nicer wedge shape, and it gives you not only does it give you a nicer look for your decreases, but it actually gives you a nicer edge to be able to go in there and pick up those stitches on each side for your gusset stitches that you're going to have to do. And I detest gusset pickups because of the fact that usually you're fiddling around and having to figure out, now where do I go into to pick up a stitch here. And as you see on this one, with the way I have done the decreasing, you have a place that you can actually go into and pick up without having a bunch of nubs in there. You've actually got little chain stitches. So this is what it's beginning to look like. I'm going to continue on with my decreasing until I get to probably 6 stitches left on my needle, maybe 8. I will try this on and see where it's ending at on my heel. I don't like to end right here on the heel. I like for my heel flap to go a little bit up, so that way I'm not walking, my heel's not hitting on the ending of those stitches and being uncomfortable for me when I've got the sock on. I'm going to get back to knitting, and I will get back and do some more video in a little while. I hope this helps.